Hello, dear friends. If you're here today, chances are you've either experienced the loss of a beloved spouse or you're thinking ahead with wisdom. Either way, you're not alone. I'm truly glad you're here. Losing a spouse is one of life's deepest heart touches. The grief can be overwhelming, and during that time, it's easy to make choices. Big ones that might feel right in the moment, but can have long-lasting effects, especially when emotions are raw. Today, we're talking about 5 costly mistakes that many people unknowingly say yes to after their spouse passes away, and what to do instead. Whether you're in the middle of this journey or simply preparing for the future, this video is for you. Let's walk this path together with compassion, care, and practical wisdom. After the passing of a spouse, it's completely natural to feel overwhelmed by a flood of emotions. Sadness, confusion, and even a need to regain control can swirl all at once. Sometimes in the midst of this emotional storm, people feel the urge to take immediate action, especially when it comes to money and important assets. But rushing into big financial decisions right away can lead to costly mistakes that might be hard to undo later. One of the most common mistakes is selling the family home too soon. The house where you and your spouse built memories can feel both comforting and painful at the same time. Some people decide to sell because the space feels too empty or too full of memories they're not ready to face. Others might think that downsizing quickly will make life simpler or help with finances. But the truth is, making such a big change while your emotions are still raw can leave you feeling even more unsettled. Take Margaret's story as an example. Margaret was 68 when her husband passed after 50 years of marriage. Within just a few months, she sold their longtime home. She thought it would bring her peace and freedom, but instead, she felt lost and lonely. The house had been her anchor, and letting go so soon left her feeling adrift. Later, she wished she had waited until she felt stronger emotionally to make that choice. Besides rushing to sell property, another common pitfall is quickly cashing out savings or life insurance policies. It can feel tempting to say yes when someone offers to help get things sorted immediately. However, the grief fog, an emotional haze that clouds judgment, can make it difficult to see the long-term consequences of these choices. In some cases, people might unknowingly agree to terms that aren't in their best interest, or miss out on benefits that take time to fully understand. Psychologists tell us that grief changes the way our brains work, making decision-making harder. It's like trying to read a complicated map in the middle of a rainstorm. Clarity and calmness usually return gradually, often over the course of several months. That's why experts recommend giving yourself time, sometimes 6 months to a year, before making major financial moves. During this time, it's important to lean on trusted professionals and family members for guidance, but also to listen carefully to your own feelings. If a decision feels too rushed or uncomfortable, it's okay to pause and say, "Let me think about this." Setting boundaries can protect you from costly mistakes and help you feel more secure. Remember, grief is not a race. There's no prize for making the fastest decisions. Your well-being is what matters most. Small, deliberate steps taken when you feel ready can make a huge difference in your peace of mind and financial security. So if you're watching this and find yourself feeling pressured to say yes to big financial decisions right now, take a deep breath. It's okay to say no or to ask for more time. Your loved one would want you to care for yourself gently, not rush into choices that could cause more stress later. You're doing your best, and that's enough. Give yourself permission to pause. Your future self will thank you. After losing a spouse, it's completely natural to want some space. Grief is deeply personal, and sometimes it feels like nobody really understands the pain you're carrying. Many people find themselves pulling away from others, closing doors, skipping social events, and avoiding calls or visits. This is a very common response, but it can actually make things harder over time. Isolation might feel like a safe place at first, a way to protect your heart while it's fragile. But over days and weeks, spending too much time alone can lead to loneliness, sadness, and even health problems. Our minds and bodies thrive on connection, even when we don't feel up to it. Human beings are wired for relationships, especially in tough times. Let me share Robert's story. Robert was 72 when his wife passed after a long illness. Overwhelmed by grief, he stopped answering phone calls and didn't want visitors. He thought that being alone was the best way to heal. But after nearly a year, he noticed his health declining, and the loneliness felt like a heavy weight pressing down on him. Eventually, a friend invited him to a local book club, and that small step out of isolation made a big difference. He began to feel a renewed sense of purpose and joy just by spending time with others. Psychologically, social connection helps reduce stress and loneliness by releasing oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone. This hormone improves mood and helps us feel safe. When we withdraw, those benefits disappear and grief can feel much heavier. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to jump into big social gatherings or push yourself to be okay before you're ready. It means taking gentle, manageable steps. Even a short phone call, a walk with a neighbor, or a quiet coffee with a friend can slowly bring light back into your days. Another important thing to remember is that your loved ones want to support you. They may just not know how. Sometimes people hesitate to reach out because they fear saying the wrong thing. By accepting invitations or letting a trusted person in, you give others a chance to help carry your burden. If large groups feel overwhelming, consider support groups designed for widows and widowers. These are safe spaces where people truly understand what you're going through, and you can share as much or as little as you want. Many find comfort simply knowing they're not alone. It's also okay to set boundaries. Connection doesn't mean you have to be on all the time or pretend to be fine. You can ask for quiet time or shorter visits. The goal is to find a balance that feels right for you. If you're feeling isolated right now, know this. Reaching out, even just a little, can be the first step toward healing. It doesn't erase the pain, but it helps you carry it more gently. Your heart will thank you for this kindness. So please be gentle with yourself. It's okay to take small steps. And remember, you're surrounded by people who care and want to walk alongside you in this new chapter. You're not alone, and the world is still full of moments worth sharing. Losing a spouse means there's often a lot of important paperwork to deal with, and it can feel overwhelming. Wills, insurance policies, bank accounts, property titles, and government documents might all need attention. Many people, especially in the early stages of grief, avoid or postpone these tasks because they feel confusing, stressful, or even painful. However, ignoring or delaying this important paperwork can lead to serious problems, both legal and financial, down the road. One common mistake is forgetting to update beneficiary information on life insurance policies, retirement accounts, and bank accounts. Your spouse might have been the designated beneficiary, but once they pass away, you need to make sure those assets are redirected properly. If this step is skipped or delayed, money might go to someone you didn't expect, or someone you no longer want to benefit. Take Helen's experience as an example. After her husband passed, she didn't update their insurance policies or bank accounts for several months. Later, she discovered that some money was paid to an estranged family member, which caused her both stress and legal headaches. This situation could have been avoided with a little early attention. Another important step is reviewing and possibly updating your will. A will is a legal document that spells out how your assets should be divided. If your spouse was the executor or co-owner of property, you might need to update ownership titles to reflect the change. Failing to do this can create confusion, delays, or even disputes among family members. Besides the will, other documents like power of attorney, healthcare proxies, and advance directives should also be reviewed. If your spouse held these roles for you, you'll want to name someone else you trust to take those responsibilities. Many seniors find it helpful to work with a trusted estate attorney or financial advisor during this process. These professionals can guide you step by step, ensuring nothing is missed and everything is done according to the law. Even if it feels overwhelming, breaking down the paperwork into small tasks can make it manageable. For example, start with gathering all important documents in one place: insurance papers, wills, bank statements. Then tackle one item at a time, maybe with the help of a family member or professional. Remember, this paperwork isn't just about money. It's about protecting your future peace of mind and making sure your wishes and your spouse's wishes are honored. Psychologically, avoiding these responsibilities can sometimes feel like putting off grief. It's hard to face the reality of loss, and paperwork is a stark reminder. That's okay. Give yourself permission to take it slow and ask for support when you need it. Your well-being matters, so try to balance taking care of these tasks with moments of rest and self-care. Pacing yourself is key. If you're watching and feel unsure where to start, a good first step is to reach out to a local elder law attorney or a trusted financial counselor. Many communities offer free or low-cost resources designed especially for seniors navigating these challenges. Above all, know that you're not alone in this. Lots of people feel confused or anxious about legal matters after loss. With time and gentle attention, you'll move through it. And when you do, you'll find comfort in knowing that you've taken important steps to protect yourself and your family. After losing a spouse, the idea of staying in the family home can be both comforting and challenging. Some days it feels like a place full of memories and love. Other days, it might feel empty or overwhelming. Because of these mixed feelings, many people consider making quick decisions about where to live, sometimes moving in with family, selling the house, or downsizing immediately. While it's natural to want change, rushing into housing decisions too soon can bring unexpected difficulties. Take Frank's story as an example. After his wife passed, he moved in with his daughter within a few weeks. At first, it seemed like a good idea. More company, less responsibility. But very soon, tension grew. Frank missed his independence and the familiar comfort of his own home, while his daughter felt overwhelmed with the new responsibilities of caregiving. Neither felt happy or at peace. Our homes are deeply connected to our sense of identity and security. They hold memories, routines, and familiar surroundings that can provide a sense of stability during a time when everything else feels uncertain. Moving suddenly can disrupt this sense of safety, sometimes making grief feel even heavier. Psychologically, experts say that staying in your own space for a while helps maintain your sense of self. It allows you to process your emotions without additional stress. It also gives you time to think clearly about what kind of living situation will truly suit your needs moving forward. If you're thinking about making a housing change, try to give yourself at least 12 months before making any big moves. This isn't a rule, but a gentle guideline to allow space for healing and thoughtful planning. During this time, you might find ways to make your current home feel more comfortable and manageable. Small changes like rearranging furniture, creating a special memory corner, or inviting friends over can help you reconnect with your space. If you do decide to move, take the time to explore your options carefully. Talk to family members, visit different places, and consider your emotional and physical needs. Sometimes moving closer to family is helpful, but sometimes it's better to stay independent with support services in your own community. Remember, moving isn't just about the physical place. It's about the life you want to live. Don't feel pressured to make this decision quickly because of others' opinions or feelings. This is your journey. It's also important to seek advice from trusted professionals, like a senior living counselor, a real estate agent experienced in senior moves, or a social worker who understands the emotional impact of relocation. And lastly, listen to your heart. If a decision feels rushed or uncomfortable, it probably needs more time. Moving at your own pace is a form of self-care. Grief is already a lot to carry. Adding sudden housing changes on top can be overwhelming. Gentle, thoughtful choices help you create a new chapter filled with peace and meaning. So, if you're considering moving or making housing changes soon after your spouse's passing, remember Frank's story and give yourself grace. Wait until you feel more emotionally ready, and don't hesitate to ask for help along the way. You deserve a home that feels like a true sanctuary, a place where your heart can begin to heal. After your spouse passes away, it's common for people to want to help. Sometimes these helpers are family members, trusted friends, or professionals like insurance agents and financial advisors. While many have good intentions, it's important to be cautious about saying yes to financial decisions or advice too quickly. Grief can cloud judgment, and unfortunately, some offers might not be in your best interest. One common situation is when someone shows up soon after the loss, offering to help manage your money, investments, or insurance policies. They might seem kind and reassuring, but it's important to remember that this is a vulnerable time for you. Making big financial moves right away like investing large sums, changing beneficiaries, or signing contracts, can sometimes lead to costly mistakes. Take George's story as an example. After his wife passed, a new financial advisor encouraged him to invest a large amount of money in what sounded like a promising opportunity. George trusted him and agreed without getting a second opinion. Within a few months, he lost over half his savings. This was devastating not only financially but emotionally too. One way to protect yourself is to take your time. It's okay to say no or let me think about it when someone pushes for a quick decision. Real professionals will respect your need for time and won't pressure you. Another important tip is to seek advice from someone you already trust, like a longtime accountant, attorney, or a financial counselor who has your best interests at heart. Don't hesitate to get a second or even third opinion before making any major changes. Sometimes just talking things over with a trusted family member or friend can help you see the situation more clearly. Beware of anyone who says, "This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity," or tries to rush you. These are classic warning signs. Slow, steady, thoughtful decisions almost always lead to better outcomes. Also, keep in mind that some helpers might expect fees or commissions that aren't obvious upfront. Make sure you understand all the costs involved before agreeing to anything. Psychologically, grief can make us want to regain control quickly, and financial decisions feel like one way to do that. But this urgency can backfire if it leads to risky choices. Instead, focus on simple steps that help you regain control in a safe way. Organizing your bills, setting up automatic payments, or reviewing your budget with someone you trust. Remember, protecting your financial security is a form of self-care. Your spouse would want you to be cautious, to take your time, and to seek wise counsel. If you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to ask for help managing day-to-day money matters without making any big changes right away. Sometimes small steps can provide peace of mind without the stress. So if you're hearing offers to help with your money right now, remember George's story and give yourself permission to pause. Saying yes too soon can lead to regret, but taking your time shows strength and self-respect. You deserve to feel safe and secure in your financial future, no matter what challenges come your way. Losing a spouse is one of life's most profound challenges, and it's common to feel completely consumed by grief. In the midst of this emotional storm, it's easy to forget about your own health and well-being. Sometimes people neglect basic self-care like eating well, getting enough rest, or taking medications on time. Others might avoid doctor's appointments or ignore signs of physical or mental health problems because it feels too overwhelming to deal with anything else. But neglecting your health can lead to serious consequences, and taking care of yourself is one of the most important things you can do. Consider Martha's experience. After her husband passed, she stopped cooking for herself and ate very little. She also skipped visits to her doctor and stopped taking her prescribed medications. Within a few months, her health deteriorated significantly. She felt weak and exhausted, which made coping with grief even harder. Only after her family gently encouraged her did she start paying attention to her health again. Once she made small changes, like eating regular meals and going for short walks, she began to feel stronger both physically and emotionally. Psychologists explain that grief affects the whole person, mind and body alike. Emotional pain can cause physical symptoms such as fatigue, headaches, and even heart problems. When you're grieving, your immune system can weaken, making you more vulnerable to illness. That's why maintaining regular health checkups and managing chronic conditions is especially important. Another aspect is mental health. Feelings of deep sadness can sometimes lead to depression or anxiety. These are common and treatable conditions, but they often go unnoticed because people don't want to admit they're struggling. Talking to a therapist or counselor who understands grief can provide relief and tools to cope more effectively. Self-care doesn't have to be complicated. Small, gentle actions like drinking enough water, getting fresh air, and trying to keep a regular sleep schedule can make a big difference. Even simple activities like reading a book, listening to music, or practicing meditation can soothe a grieving heart. It's also important to reach out when you need help. Family, friends, community groups, or health professionals want to support you. They just need to know how. Accepting help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Sometimes grief can make you feel like you don't deserve care or happiness. Please know that this is not true. You deserve kindness, care, and healing just as much as anyone else. If you notice changes in your energy, mood, appetite, or sleep that last more than a few weeks, consider talking to your doctor. They can help rule out physical causes and suggest ways to support your mental health. Remember, taking care of yourself is a way of honoring your spouse's memory. They would want you to live fully and healthily, even in this new chapter of life. So if you've been neglecting your health, try to start with one small step today. It might be as simple as drinking a glass of water, taking a short walk, or calling a loved one. Every small act of self-care adds up and helps you move forward with more strength and hope. You're doing the best you can, and that's enough. When a spouse passes away, emotions run high and decisions can feel urgent. Some people start making big life choices almost immediately, not because they're ready, but because they feel guilty, obligated, or pressured by others. This might look like giving away belongings too soon, making major financial gifts, selling property, or agreeing to things that don't truly feel right. This is more common than you might think. When grief is fresh, your heart is wide open and vulnerable. You might feel a deep need to do the right thing, especially if family members are involved or if you feel like you owe something. But decisions made from guilt or pressure often lead to regret later on. Let me share Carol's story. After her husband died, she felt overwhelmed by the idea of keeping his things, clothes, tools, even his old books. Her children suggested donating or tossing most of it within the first month. Not wanting to seem difficult and feeling unsure of what she really wanted, Carol agreed. Months later, she realized she had rushed through something sacred. She missed having just a few of his favorite items to hold on to and wished she had taken more time. Grief is not a deadline. There's no clock ticking that says you must decide everything right away. In fact, giving yourself time to reflect usually leads to wiser, more peaceful choices. Pressure can come from outside sources, family, friends, or even professionals, but it can also come from within. Guilt is powerful. You might feel guilty about having too much, or about moving forward without your spouse. Sometimes people try to ease that guilt by giving away money or making choices that aren't truly in their best interest. Psychologically, this urge to act can be a way of coping with the discomfort of loss. Taking action feels productive, and in the moment, it may even offer relief. But when decisions are driven by emotion rather than clarity, they can lead to long-term pain. So what can you do instead? Take a breath. Remind yourself that it's okay to wait. It's okay to say, "I need more time," or "I'm not ready to decide." Those are strong, healthy boundaries. Trusted people in your life will respect that. When you do start making decisions, try journaling or talking them through with someone who understands grief. Sometimes just hearing your own thoughts out loud can make things clearer. And if you feel pressure from others, be honest. Say something like, "I appreciate your help, but I need to go at my own pace." Those simple words can protect your heart and your future. Grief already asks so much of you. Don't let guilt or pressure add more weight. The decisions you make after loss should come from a place of calm and self-compassion, not fear or haste. You have time. You deserve that time. Trust your inner voice. It knows what's best for you, even if it's quiet at first. After the loss of a spouse, many people feel like they need to handle everything by themselves. This can come from pride, habit, or even a sense of responsibility to carry on without asking for help. While independence is important, trying to do everything alone can quickly become overwhelming and even harmful. It's important to remember that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and wisdom. When you allow others to support you, you're giving yourself permission to heal and lighten your load. Take Betty's story as an example. After her husband passed, she insisted on managing all the household chores, finances, and social commitments by herself. She was determined to prove she could handle it all. But after several months, Betty felt exhausted and isolated. Eventually, a close friend gently encouraged her to accept help with grocery shopping and house cleaning. Betty was surprised by how much relief it brought her, and how it actually improved her mood and energy. Psychologically, Grief already drains your emotional and physical reserves. Adding too many responsibilities on top of that can lead to burnout, depression, and even health problems. By sharing your load, you create space for rest and self-care, which are crucial in this healing process. Sometimes people hesitate to ask for help because they don't want to burden others or feel they should be strong. But most loved ones want to help. They just need a little guidance on how. You can start small, asking a neighbor for a ride to an appointment, letting a family member handle a phone call, or accepting an invitation to a simple outing. Another way to find support is through community resources. Many towns have senior centers, volunteer services, and support groups that can provide assistance with daily tasks or offer companionship. These resources are there for you, and using them can make a big difference. It's also helpful to build a circle of support by identifying a few trusted people you can turn to regularly. This might include family members, friends, a clergy person, or a counselor. Having people who check in on you and offer practical or emotional help can ease the burden and remind you that you're not alone. Remember, healing is not a race or a solo journey. It's a process that often requires leaning on others. Accepting help doesn't mean you're losing your independence. It means you're taking care of yourself in the best way possible. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, try reaching out to just one person today. It could be a phone call, a text, or even a simple message saying, "I could use some help." You might be surprised how many people want to be there for you. You deserve kindness, care, and support just as much as you've given to others throughout your life. So please be gentle with yourself. Don't carry the weight alone when there are hands ready to help. Letting others in is a beautiful step toward healing, and it can open doors to new connections and comfort.